router. We are advertised that it will be live, and it's going to be live streaming on the website and basically on some other. So yesterday we had everybody looking, and there were unbelievable response. So we couldn't just start this. I apologize again to you. I guess everything went well. Right now, I don't have your word. Is looking from the other side, the technical guys. So I think if anybody has internet, they know they can get connected with those little login SharkPro passwords FD70001. So we're going to be streaming live, and we have like 11 contestants. But he's very well known. He's from the Macro Angels that does a lot of small loans, and he worked with dealer situation and worked, but he goes to a lot of his organic meetups.
Okay. Let's move on.
He's a.
No personal.
Okay. Well, we're going to have all these 11 young men, or some of them, you know, young in heart. And they have good stuff. They have very.
We have a wise lady too.
Yeah, and we have one lady too. And but first, I have promised before my time, we have about 10 minutes presentation from a good friend of mine, and she's an entrepreneur. They study this in entrepreneurship in NYU, and she was gracious enough to have some preparation. I'm going to give the production. So she's going to tell us what she is doing, and so then we're going to start everything. Thank you again.
And I'm a lawyer, and everything I do is on securities laws. No one wants to hear about securities laws right now. But I will just give you a very, very brief rundown of what I'm doing. I'm actually a law fellow at NYU School of Law, researching, writing, and teaching a little bit on securities laws and how they're relevant to entrepreneurs and how they raise capital. So I'm looking at some of the more innovative ways that entrepreneurs can raise capital today. Obviously, that led me to the Jobs Act and crowdfunding. So I'm not going to go into detail about any of that, but if you guys are ever interested in knowing a little bit more, you can always talk to me afterwards. But there was like just one thing I wanted to share, because history does repeat itself, and just in all of the discussions on crowdfunding, especially hearing it all yesterday too, I just thought it was very interesting that a lot of the things that people touched on and some of the concerns are just very, or it reignited a lot of the same discussions that were occurring 40 years ago in the 70s, relevant to SEC disclosures. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but 40 years, or before 1970, the SEC actually did not encourage, or they didn't even allow companies to disclose earnings projections or anything about future expectations of the company. Whereas today, it's pretty much expected in the proxy statements. So I feel, and part of that was because they were concerned about the hypothetical layman investor. And a lot of the same discussions are occurring today, and it's just really interesting. There's a lot of scholars in academia talking about it, and it's interesting just hearing it from a practical perspective as well on the floor with all the entrepreneurs. So that is all I'm going to share. But it's been really exciting hearing everyone's pitches. So that's all.
Thank you very much. Very enlightening. We will be calling upon you. Do you want to announce your email or anything like that? Or?
I will leave my card.
She'll leave her card. Okay, great. So I want to respect our time. We're a little behind schedule. And so if the entrepreneurs will allow me, I'm going to shorten the amount of time we originally allotted to you. So I'm asking you all to shorten your pitch to 5 minutes if possible. And if you go over, we're going to give you, we're cutting you from 10 to 5. We've got 13 people. We don't want to be here till dinner time in rush hour on a Friday. We don't want that. So we'd love to have you pitch. We want you to get some quality feedback. So if you could shorten, just give the salient points. You're talking to smart people. They're going to give you feedback that is intended to help you. Give them the salient points. They'll fill in the gaps. You don't need to give every piece of information. Skip over some slides. They'll fill in the blank. If they don't, they'll ask you. Okay? So we do have 13 people. 11 of them will be taking any comments from the panel. I'm asking the panel to please come up. And two of them are just going to present their products. You'll see why in a moment. Very interesting. And so without any further ado, I'll just say my name so you know who to blame if it doesn't go as well. By the way, I have to apologize in advance. I have a 5 o'clock meeting in Walnut Creek. It's Friday, and I'm in Silicon Valley. So I won't be able to finish the job that I start. I really apologize in advance, but hopefully I'll set a pattern that we'll be able to continue, and I think Armand will take over for me. So the first speaker is Ramsey and Elias, and he has a product called Trago, and he's going to demonstrate it, and I think you're all going to like it. Come on up. So a couple minutes, right?
Yep, great.
Yeah, this will be short and sweet, like me.
Yeah.
I am the owner and operator of the world's greatest mustache. I'm here to tell you about Trago, and Trago is a very simple solution to a very simple problem. The simple problem is that tablets, tablets are, very convenient, they're great, but they don't feel good in your hand, and they can't walk alongside you like R2-D2 does, so you have to find a way to lug it everywhere. So the solution, the simple solution to that problem is Trago. Notice how quickly I can just whip this out, and boom, my tablet is there, ready for me. And you can easily stand and use it, you can easily sit and use it, you can share it with your friends. It rotates, and it even breaks out of its case and maintains its own internal case. I liken it to a man purse.
Great, yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
I want one.
Okay, that's one sale. I liken this to a man purse because I hold my wallet in here, my phone, my keys, my glasses, stylus, pens. There's slots for everything. I have a whole load of flyers which I'm going to be pushing on you after my event. I'm going to skip over this stuff about who my customers are and tell you thank you. And tell you that I currently have a Kickstarter up and live right now. It lasts for 9 more days. I'm about 45% funded, and I'm looking for pre-sales. Anybody throwing in the next 24 hours, please add into the comment, and I will add in a second Trago at half cost. They sell for $69 with free shipping in the US, and so if you pledge $99 or $100, then I will send you a second one. You'll get one in each color. We have a green liner and the orange. We're working on models for the Android system as well, for the Mini, and also a James Bond system where a spring-loaded knife pops out and a roll of whole sovereigns is hidden in the liner. So anyway, Trago is the name. 9 days left. We really appreciate your support. Thanks a lot.
Great.
Good job, very nice. So anybody, if you're inclined at all, go on Kickstarter right now, search for Trago, and that'll bring it up, right? And then make a pledge and you'll get the special offer he gave you. Okay, the next speaker will also come up and make a setup on your computer. It's Crowdfunders. Please. Oh. Well, Mark, I guess you're next.
Hello? Okay, there we go. Okay, how many of you have bought or sold a property, house, investment property, or otherwise in the past? Great. And how much of you enjoyed all the paperwork that went into that process? Exactly. Well, with Recio, we've developed a technology that automates the entire paperwork process and buying and selling process online for real estate agents, buyers, sellers, third-party vendors, and brokers. And so our product allows agents and brokers to upload documents, share them with clients, e-sign documents in the cloud, workflow management, task management, and so forth. Kind of think of it like Dropbox plus DocuSign plus Basecamp plus Pinterest and Facebook because we built a social element into it. So we launched the product about 4 months ago. We definitely have customers that are using it. We're actually launching a broker version of our product later this month. So where's the opportunity here from a company perspective or an investor perspective? So there's 2.5 million agents out there in the US. They're spending about $89 a month on various technologies, Dropbox and DocuSign and Basecamp and Evernote, and having separate accounts for all these different tools that they're using to manage their business. Well, Recio combines all of those processes and all of those steps into one beautiful flow for a low $20 a month, $20 per agent per month, or $195 per agent per year. So not only does it streamline the entire process for them, but they save money on top of it as well. In terms of our customers, so we have agents, individual agents, who we've already built a product for, and we have about 220 agents using our product right now. We're building a broker product that we're launching later this month to be able to go after brokers and transaction coordinators, because brokers and transaction coordinators have multiple agents underneath them. So getting one broker gets us, say, 50 or 100 agents all at once, and allows the brokerage to manage the entire flow for all their agents underneath them. So in terms of acquiring customers, so we have a few different mechanisms. So we have paid channels, so Google AdWords we use heavily. We use LinkedIn ads, we use LinkedIn messages, email messages. We hold and sponsor events, such as RealTech SF, which is an event that we're hosting later this month, April 30th in San Francisco. We attend events, we speak at them, et cetera, and so on and so forth. And then we also have a huge organic viral component to our product. Because agents that use our product, they invite everyone else into their transactions. So they invite their clients, they invite the other agents, they invite third parties like appraisers and loan agents. And once those people come in and go, wow, this is cool, I love it, they start creating their own transactions. So we have a huge natural viral growth potential with just people coming in without even having to pay for them. This just kind of talks a little bit more about customer acquisition, the different funnels. We test different customer acquisition channels all the time. So we feel there's a huge, based on the 2.5 million agents at $89 a month, there's about a $2 billion opportunity for this. Here are some of the different channels that we're going to be using to get to that pot of money in the next 30 months. There's also a huge opportunity to go beyond just transaction management. So we're collecting large amounts of data, number of offers that are made on each property, how long does it take for a transaction to close, are people using loans or all cash to finance properties. This is valuable data that we can use to get into other ancillary types of businesses, such as loan referrals, or being able to provide neighborhood or market data to agents for them to create or to conduct future transactions. And then last but not least, we have the right team to execute on this. So we have a team of 4. We have 2 awesome, outstanding rockstar engineers, 1 front end, 1 back end. We have myself, who I've been doing real estate investing for the past 9 years. This is my 3rd technology startup. And then we have a 4th person who has been a real estate agent and broker for the last 10 years. So we have 2 non-technical co-founders, 1 technical co-founder, and an early stage engineering employee. So we have that perfect balance of domain expertise and engineering chops to really make this happen. Like I mentioned, we launched at the end of November. We have about 220 customers right now. About 10% of them are paying right now. And then as we launch the broker product later this month, we have a lot of those clients that are ready to switch to that broker model and start paying for it then. Just to kind of sum up, we've raised about $120K so far in funding. We're probably going to look to raise more money later this summer. And we actually just got accepted last week into 500 Startup Spring 2013 Accelerator. So we're super excited to be joining the 500 family later this month. That's it.
Amazing.
That's very good. That's a great example. With the next company that's going to speak, please come up and set up their deck while Mark gets some feedback from our panelists. Now, the way to take this feedback as an entrepreneur, I said this before, I just want to repeat it for the audience. This is meant to help the entrepreneur be even better. So if it's positive, if it's negative, if it's both positive and negative, that's all good, and that's what they want, that's what they came here for. So panelists, you might say your name when you start, and then give them great feedback, help them be even better than they already are. Thanks very much.
Do you want me to respond to these questions?
I think we're going to keep it to 5 minutes, so let's try to let them give you feedback. If you have a quick question of the speaker, go ahead and ask them. But you did a great job, good example. Keep the answer short.
Okay, so I'm Daniel Washmore. I'm the founder and CEO of Real Estate Society. I think it's a great idea. I think you've got a fantastic model there and a really good untapped market to go at. How is it defensible to competition entering into this space, and what do you intend to do about that?
Yeah, so we have a couple of other competitors, and in terms of how we differentiate ourselves, there's a few different things that we do. So we, first of all, we integrated the product with e-signature platforms more than any of our competitors have done, which is actually a pretty time-consuming process and pretty difficult thing. So our other competitors don't actually do that. So that adds a extra layer of simplicity for the customer that they like about our product compared to others. The other thing is too is the natural kind of viral and social components that we've built. Just make it sticky, so once people start using it, they have the documents in the product, they're already using it and sharing with people, it's really difficult for them to switch to something else. So it has that natural stickiness because of all the historical data sitting in there. Even if something else comes along, it's much more difficult for them to switch to something else.
How long have you been running with customers paying, and how many successful transactions have you completed?
And so we launched November 28th, 2012, so we've been around for a little over 4 months. We have about 215 customers, just only about a handful, so about 20 of them are paying. And the reason for that is because we built the product at the agent level, and most agents are not the paying customer. The paying customer is really the broker. So we're very hopeful because we have a lot of brokers waiting in the wings ready to start using the product and paying for it. We're launching that later this month. So we feel pretty good about the chances of scaling the revenue portion of the business rather quickly once we launch that.
And on terms of your legal, how have you covered to protect yourself in case there are any flaws in your program?
Sure. So just to clarify one thing, so we're not a brokerage. We don't conduct real estate transactions. We're just a technology that enables brokers. So brokers are still required to have their own licenses and everything like that. We do all the things that most technology startups do. We have the general liability insurance, the everything else that we need. But from a DRE, for example, the California DRE, they don't even look at us because we're like a software program like Dropbox might be for them to use. They still go back to the broker. If there's any flaws or any issues in a transaction, that's all on them.
And how did you get 500 startups to take you?
I'd like to know that myself. Well,
So would everyone in the room.
Well, so in terms of 500 startups, they place a lot of emphasis on mentor and past co-founder referrals. There are a couple of mentors at 500 startups that are in the real estate space that looked at our product and really think what we're working on has a pretty big opportunity. We also have a couple of co-founders or board co-founders in past 500 startup accelerators that like what we're doing, that we met with, really believed in what we're doing, and recommended us as well. So just the overall positive recommendations, were there in terms of the space that we're in and also the team that we have.
2 minutes.
My name is Bill Sobey. I'm the founder of Silicon Valley Global Shares. I've been an entrepreneur, helped entrepreneurs for many decades. And under full disclosure, I have to say that I heard the long version of Mark's presentation at a real estate investment seminar. And I think it was about 15 minutes or so. And it's a very, very impressive company. I think there's some tremendous pluses. It's a huge untapped market. It's also potentially an international market. I believe that the multiplier effect that you have in your selling process going through the brokers is just a phenomenal advantage. Cut down on your selling costs. And I think you understand that one-to-one selling to get one customer doesn't work, but you can go one-to-many and get, you go to a big broker, you get 50, 100, 1,000 even. So I think I like that part of your model. And potentially monetizing the quote big data part of this, I think is very, very strong as far as projecting value proposition over the long term. So I'm very impressed with what you've done. Your domain knowledge is excellent. I think you're going to be very successful. 2 questions I have. One, do you have a feel on the selling cycle for an average size broker that would be in your targeted broker?
Yeah, in terms of the cycle, one of the things that we kind of predicate or are hoping is that we're cutting down on that cycle because of the elimination of all the manual work that goes into a transaction. So we've had successful transactions close. That being said, there's a lot of extraneous factors that go into when a transaction closes, like the loan going through and outside parties that do or don't get their job done, that our really technology can't necessarily account for. Maybe at some point we could.
Your own selling cycle. How long does it take you to
Oh, sorry, my apologies.
An average broker?
Yeah. So we actually, our online customer acquisition channels tend to work the best, so like Google AdWords and email campaigns. We have about a pretty low 30% bounce rate to our site. And for something like Google AdWords, we have about a 1.1% click-through rate, about a 0.8% conversion rate, so that's quite good. So people come to the product and they can instantly get started for free. They just have to enter their name, their email, and password, and they're banned using the product without any hurdles or credit card payments or anything required. And so they're in the product from there. And then generally to convert from a free trial to a paid account, generally anywhere from 10 to 14 days.
Right, and everybody in it was its people. Now, if you could do me a favor, and if you could just clap for me as hard as you can. And that's how I start. And that's how all of the startups start off. Now, if we clap together as a room, that's what Crowdfunders does. And this gentleman, if you can stand up for me, he had an amazing business idea. I thought so. Can we get a raise of hands? It was a cool product. Can we get a raise of hands? Okay, awesome. Is anybody in this room married? Anybody? You young lady. Did you get married on the first date?
On the first date, no.
Oh, okay. So the point I'm making here is the buying process, right? She went out on the first date, she got to know it. Now the thing that's different about Crowdboard, as you can all see on your piece of paper, is the watch function. I like it. I love the idea. But either I invest now or never. It's like going out on the first date and never getting a second date. Or if I do, I gotta find this person. It's like not having a mobile phone. So what I do is I watch it. And then I become friends with this person. And then I add them and I talk to them. I ask them, I go, why is the idea good? What are you doing with it? And then bang. From there on, it's I go, now I want to invest in this product. Also as well as, sit down, sorry about that. Also as well, another question is you're looking to raise $10,000, right? 20. Okay, so you raised $20,000. How much can I have?
How much do you want? We can talk.
Exactly, I don't want a penny. Has anybody here ever bought a concert ticket before? You bought a concert ticket? What was the last concert you went to see?
Oh, you're gonna ask me that now.
I'm gonna pull you out from the record. Okay, well, it's when you bought this concert ticket, how did you buy it? You went online, right? You most likely bought some tickets. It's a slight processing fee. That's how Crowdfunders makes its money, and you can read it on there. This is a lot better buying process, we believe, for crowdfunding, as it's the way Eventbrite, Groove Tickets works. Now, if this gentleman would have went to my site, he could have created a crowd board within 10 minutes. He could have uploaded all of his information, and he could have raised money from you nice people who liked his idea, and not paid a penny for it. You guys could have, as you see on the buying process, you guys could have paid around $4, $5 each from whatever you were investing in, and then this gentleman would have to give up $5,000 of his hard-earned money that he needs for his company, and he'd be better off, right? Also, as well as I got another question for you, is who is terrified of the SV City? Can we get a show of hands?
Yes.
Terrified? What we're trying to do at Crowdfunders and what we've been developing is we've been developing patented technology. And what we want to do is we want to build reporting modules so when we go into the equity-based raises, we can send it. And we can send them information. So they can see exactly what everybody's doing on our platform. And what we're hoping that will do is we're hoping that will allow them the insight they need in order to in order to not take legal action on anybody. Last but not least is, what I'd like to say is, who in the room, oh, sorry about that.
1 minute. No problem, take your time.
No, can I cut it off there? Can I go for questions, please?
Okay, sure. Okay.
Whew. Sorry about that.
Good job.
All right.
So we're going to go for 5 minutes, questions max, and include the audience too. If the audience has questions, give us at the end.
Okay. I really like the idea of developing a relationship with an audience whilst you're going through the pitch process. I think that's a really important point. On the platform, a lot of people will observe the pitch, they'll read it the first time, come back to it, read some questions, and then towards the deadline, see how something's progressing. So I think anything that an entrepreneur or a borrower can do to accelerate that process is a good thing.
Yeah.
So what kind of stimulates that engagement? What's really going to get somebody who wants to have this second day to come back onto the site and engage beyond the forum?
Well, it's when you log into Crowdfunders, you can add all your friends. So you can bring them to the site, you can share Crowdboards, you can connect with Crowdboards, and you can raise money for what you're looking for. And I feel like that social engagement is something that the industry is missing at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
We have a question from the audience?
So just
Speak it loud, please.
Go ahead, sorry. I'm
sure-
okay now, guys, don't worry.
So I'm sort of curious. I mean, there are people who are really good at dating. There are people who are really bad at dating. Somewhere in the world, there's a lot of people who make money off the fact that there are people who are terrible at dating. Do you have the ability to support something like a coach who's going to work with the inventor?
Yeah, it's one of the functions we were looking on doing was is when somebody creates a crowdboard, they can invite people. You can help them out, you can share it for them, and really, promote and help out with their product. So yeah, definitely, that's something we definitely have. Any more questions?
I've got one question for you.
Go ahead, sorry.
So I often hear this, and sometimes I hear satisfying answers from the entrepreneur, sometimes let's test you. What keeps you up at night?
trying to change the world.
I mean, regarding your startup.
What's the worry about it? It's really just getting people involved. I believe is once people see the platform, they start creating crowd boards and they see how different it is and how unique. I believe they'll really see something special. So we're not live yet. We're going to be live in about 2 months. And I'd like to invite you all to go ahead, grab flyers at the back. Check out all the information on there and really look into what we're doing, because obviously I'm not one of the best presenters, but it's what we have actually done behind the scenes is really something that we think everybody will like and everybody will come to and everyone will want to see.
Any other questions, comments?
I have a question. Wendy Garfield from Bankless Times. Are you in pursuit of money or partnership like 500 startups so that you can get mentorship? What are you after?
Yeah, because at the moment what Crowdfunders is really looking for is startup businesses that want to raise money. People that want to create crowd boards that don't want to give away 5% of whatever they raise to the other existing platforms.
So you're wanting to function as a Kickstarter with a Craigslist financial basis?
No, we're trying to function as a Kickstarter with a social media platform on top of it. So people could connect, they can create profiles, they can have people as friends, they can send them messages. So really is the crowd board is just the basis of what people can create. We have a bunch of different districts for people to go into and list exactly what they're doing. And then people who like certain things like technology, they can put this as a favorite, then go in and then look exactly at the district they like, and they can invest in the things that they enjoy investing in.
Okay, I have one more question. Comment?
Just a comment, I think. So I like your differentiating idea of creating a social media interaction, the fervor, to then have the crowd to send to your offering. So my feedback as a person listening to the presentation is, if you're interested in making it more compelling, I would talk about how you do that, why that makes you different, and why you're not so easy to be knocked off or copied by 500 other crowdfunding sites who are going to be watching you. So that would be for the future, not that you have to do it now, but I think that is something that is needed, because as we all know, 44% get funded in the big crowd, Kickstarters stats, so we assume that's probably across the board. So 54% of people don't know how or don't have enough crowd to send. So I think your value add could be very big if you can figure out a way to message it out and protect it from being copied, and then it takes away your specialness. Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.
So the next speaker is Gazillion Fund? Gazillion Fund, am I saying that right? Oh, yes, great. So while she's loading, are you going to use your own computer? You can plug it in? We're going to get a chance to look at her website, so I'm excited about that. Is there someone that might help her? So while we're getting the technology set up, the on deck person is BioExperts. BioExperts. Am I saying that right? BioExperts. You're up next. So when she's done, and she starts taking questions, why don't you come up and load your equipment. So while we're here taking questions and comments from both the audience and our expert panelists, are you ready? That was fast. Okay, great. So the idea is that we're making comments and either questions to help the entrepreneur improve their pitch or achieve their goal, whatever that might be. So I'm going to hand it over to you, say your name and your company.
Okay. I need a microphone. All right, are you guys awake? Raise your hand. Thank you. Okay, my name is Anne. My company is Gazillion Fund. So my demo is going to be very interactive. Feel free to ask me questions as I go along, because being interactive, that's the message of my Gazillion Fund crowdfunding platform. So Gazillion Fund is a reward-based free online crowdfunding platform. And who has not heard the word crowdfunding? All right, good. I didn't invent that word anyway. But who has heard the word clubbing? Clubbing. Good, thank you. I invented that word back in 1993. I lived in International House in New York. That time I was the floor manager. and I sent out an email saying, let's go to a club. And then I thought it's just too complicated, so I said, let's go clubbing, and then it just went viral. So, and now I'm inventing another word called social crowdfunding. Have you heard of that word before today? No, okay, I just invented that, it's gonna go viral. So social crowdfunding is one click fundraising to all major social media sites. So who has ever tried to raise funds before on crowdfunding platform, like Indiegogo or whatever? Okay, conventionally, most of the crowdfunding platform, you basically you have to, bug your friends and family, say, give me money, go to my project, go to my platform, pledge your money. My platform saves you a lot of footwork, no begging. So I'll give you a quick demo. Let's say you're doing in entertainment industry. So you go to entertainment, you add your project, and after you finish adding your project, well, you have to add your project first, but let's go to, by the way, fundraisers blog, okay? So after you upload your project, there's a click where you can share it on all social media platforms. And also, besides uploading your project, you can also write a blog. And when you write your blog, people can comment. And after you finish writing your blog, you can share it to Pinterest, you can tweet it, and you can share it to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, email, print, Gmail, some of them, and there are 340 other more social media sites with one click. So it saves you a lot of work. And therefore, I can say my platform is very, very easy to use, very friendly for fundraisers. How many of you are investors in here? How many of you want to be investors but don't have money? Okay, that's okay, because my threshold is very low. You can start as little as 100. Also, because it's reward-based, I don't want to call you investor, I want to call you funders. And even if you're VC or angel here, I'm not competing with you because it's reward-based. So I'm complimenting you because what happens is all the people that upload a project, fundraisers, can create a buzz by having people click on your like. The more like you have, the more popular you become, the more buzz you become. And you can write a blog, and people can comment on your blog. And the blog gets also uploaded to other social media plugins. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
And up here, you have a dashboard. You can keep track of your comments. And here you can chat online, real time. And here you can post and show slide or anything. And here you can do a keyword search for your project. What is a good keyword? What would it show up? What would show up on Google search? What would show up on Yahoo or Bing or whatever? So it's very social, very interactive. And I can take questions now.
Great. Does the panel have questions?
Okay, so I'll go first.
More comments?
All right, so how would you compare the site to another rewards-based platform like Kickstarter, for example?
Kickstarter and I were very different in our business model. Also in our category, first of all, Kickstarter, they're basically like items, like art piece, prints, your music piece. Mine is more like for companies or project that charges a service fee, a membership fee or project fee. So the way you reward your funders is give them those free service, free membership, and I recommend doing tiers. The more you fund, and the longer free membership you give. So it's more like service-based companies, like consulting firm, law firm, travel agency, something like that. And also Kickstarter, say you designate, you want to raise 50,000, you don't raise 50,000, you get zero. Mine, there's no limit. It's just 3 months. After 3 months, it expires automatically. However much you raise is however much you get. And after it expires, you can re-upload your project. And it's lower commission fee than Kickstarter.
Okay, very good, thanks.
And are you trying to raise capital?
So far I've been bootstrapping. If I raise capital, I do want to raise a big amount, and predominantly that would go into marketing, and hopefully I have a very good exit within 3 years. If I want to.
I suggest that you be a little more succinct in your introduction. And very traditionally, if you talk to investors, they want to find out very quickly what problem are you solving. How do you solve it? What's unique about the way you solve it, and how do you make money? There's 4 very, very simple things. I know we're compressing our schedule today to 5 minutes, but it's better to be very, very direct in where you are, what you're doing, what you want, as opposed to quizzing people. Did you do this? Did you do that? You know, I don't think anybody really, an investor really wouldn't care about that. Now, it's a good way to link with people. It gives you some contact with the audience. But if you really want to raise money, that's unnecessary.
Okay, thank you.
Good comments. Any questions or comments from the audience? So I would ask a question for you. I think it was brilliant to make it easy to post out to the different social media sites. But obviously, anybody can do that. It's a very simple add-on. So have you thought, or maybe you already have, and you don't want to disclose it to the world yet, but have you thought of something that would make your site unique in the way in which it helps the posters reach out to people they don't already have access to? See what I'm saying? So it's one thing to add something everybody else can add, it's another thing to add something unique, which separates you, and is your unique proposition, value proposition. Anyway, but just thought for future. Thank you. So we're going to have one more coming up. So this is Grimm Brothers, right?
I know, by experts.
Oh, by experts. I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself. And please say your name, and I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and then the questions from the panel and comments from the panel. Thank you.
So I'm Sam Ali. I'm the co-founder of BioExperts. And I just want to start with a quick question. Anyone here affiliated with the pharma biotech industry? I don't usually meet a lot of people. Usually it's tech. You have probably heard that there's a huge shift in the education landscape currently, and if you want to read more about it, you can look at the article by New York Times, Tom Friedman, correspondent, or writer. And just to give you a very quick idea of what's going on, if you haven't heard, there is something called the MOOC, which is the Massive Open Online course, and we are capturing that wave of interest and enthusiasm out there about how this education field is transforming, and it's going to be available and affordable and accessible to anyone in the world. And there are a couple of companies that have started this Coursera, and that is a for-profit company that is started by a couple of professors from Stanford. And edX is a non-profit organization, and it's a joint venture between Harvard and MIT, and they're providing a lot of their courses, and they're also partnering with other universities. So we are capturing that interest and enthusiasm, and we're riding that wave of hype and interest in online education. But we have a unique focus because we're not teaching university level courses. We are teaching the more advanced level biotech and pharmaceutical related courses and programs. So our online education platform is for technical and compliance training for pharma biotech diagnostics and devices, medical devices. Just very briefly, I know I have only 5 minutes, so I'll go quick. There are a lot of deficiencies with the current model of training and education for the pharma. It's in-person, requires travel and cost of accommodation in hotels, and it's not really flexible because people will need to miss work for a day or two of their work time. So it can be really expensive and inconvenient. So we're changing that. We're making everything accessible on our platform. We're working and recruiting the top at this point.
Thank you, good presentation, thank you. Thanks, man.
5 minutes is a short time.
So, let the panel start, and then if the comments from the audience, we'd love to have.
I'll start. I think that the market is huge. I think it's a good idea. Do you provide certification of some sort that has any value to the employer?
Yeah, certainly we do. And anyone that completes the course will get a certification. And they can use that for many purposes, including if they get audited by the FDA, sometimes they would need to show that.
And the TIA, if they go online, are they going to compete directly with you? Are you able to offer anything different that they couldn't?
They are actually trying to go online with their own format. They're doing webinars, which is, I believe, is not the way to go because if any of us have attended webinars, I usually fall asleep after 10 minutes. So we're not doing webinars. We're doing interactive, engaging, self-paced content supported by a live discussion at specific periods. If someone has a question, then they can actually ask the instructor.
So the 5-10 minute modules, they have to take a certain sequence of those in order to get the certification in the topic.
Right.
Okay. And then are they quizzed on their knowledge?
That's right. Yes.
Good.
Yes. We do that.
Very much.
Yeah. Sure.
I also think what you're doing is very interesting. I would say that there's a couple things you can do in the presentation. One, drop the beginning, because we all start thinking about online education, university, all these other areas that are tangential, and you don't care about them. You want to just go straight, I'm pharma, we're online, and get into your dialogue, because either we're going to get it or we're not, but the other sends us in the wrong direction. The other thing that I just personally would like to see is a little clip of a lesson to give a sense of how this differentiates from the webinar, which puts someone to sleep.
It's in the later slides. It's just you
Yeah,
kind of run
so I would just knock off the front, because as soon as you got into the meat of it, it was really interesting.
Okay.
And that would be my main comment. Good on you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think you're in a great space. I think it's got phenomenal potential globally, beyond just America. Are you looking to raise investment funds? Where are you in the stage?
So we've raised 50,000 and we're looking for 500. And probably it will be more of an angel investment kind of funding, so if anyone's interested.
Yeah, okay. And what would you look to do with that funding?
So we need to grow our library of courses, and we need to market and promote, and also work on the platform and add additional functionalities and scale.
I have a question.
Okay. I agree with the comment about leaving out the reference to the educational market unless there was a reason that I might have missed. Are you getting help from some of those sources to give yourself credentials?
Not at this point, but...
Okay, because if that's what you intend to do, then you put it back in, but until then, I would look it out. And I definitely would show a small clip. I just recently did an online traffic school, which if any of you know. But they did what you're talking about. They had little quizzes every few minutes. Now, I didn't know how long it was going to take, so I couldn't really balance my day, because I wanted to do an hour and then do an hour later. And I didn't have the opportunity. That's the only thing I would make sure that you have.
Yeah.
The clip would be great. And it's a huge market. I'm assuming there are lots of other players.
No, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, that is
Yes.
unusual.
Yeah.
So you think you have an opportunity to get in there and make the first mover advantage?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So,
And where are you based?
With our format. We're based here in the Bay Area.
Excellent. I think you're going to do well. Okay. Any other comments or questions?
I have a question. So my understanding was that in pharmaceuticals, one of the reasons that they actually do it live is because of the testing at the end. So that there's, so no one's cheating, no one's doing whatever. How do you overcome that?
Well, there are ways to passwords and confirmations and things, but someone who's attending a webinar can be also someone else that is taking the quiz at the end. And it's not always live, like in person. There are a lot of consultants, instructors, which we're actually hoping to recruit to our program, who are providing their own training and certification on with their webinars.
Okay, so that is in compliance with the company's requirements,
Right,
the FDA
yes,
requirements?
that is sufficient, correct.
Okay.
Mostly with the FDA's actually regulations, that's sufficient.
Any other questions? Thank you. Excellent. Okay, here's one. Please go.
Yes,
And Grimm Brothers is next.
yes, for the interaction on the live, on a given interval, right?
Yes.
Would you give the user, would the user be able to download, capture all the interactions?
At this point, we don't give that feature, but it could be. We provide hard copies of certain materials, but we don't allow downloading the materials at this point because we work with consultants and trainers who don't let us do that, so we're restricted on that. But we provide supporting materials. And we also give a period of 1 year access to the course. So if they need to come back and review the material, they can do that.
Okay, thank you very much. Excellent presentation. See, Grimm Brothers here. It's not Whimsy? Oh, Grimm Brothers is here. Great. So while you're coming up to set up, the next entrepreneur will be Whimsy, and they should come up and set up while we have the questions for Grimm Brothers. We're getting some good presentations, good quality, Sydney. I'm glad you made this demo day, pitch day available. Get ready to play games, right? I know a little bit about this one, so I'm excited to see more.
There you go. All right, microphones. This is an improvement from my last pitch. I had to use my voice, and I lost it a little bit. So, hello everyone, excited to be here, and I think you might be interested in what we have cooking up. Actually, could you guys turn down the lights out a little bit? I know it's a weird request, but we got some kind of pretty art in here. That's not possible, it's okay, just pretend it's pretty. So I'll try to keep, oh, perfect, thank you very much. I'll try to keep this brief and slightly humorous. So we're Grimm Brothers. Ironically, no one's doing what we're doing, so we thought, let's do this. We're creating fairy tale worlds with black humor on PCs and tablets. So our vision is we're creating a modern IP of darker themed fairy tales that utilize cloud-based technologies and connects gamers on PCs and tablets. I'll go into what that exactly means. Our goal is to build out a cross-platform community, and I really want to emphasize community, core and mid-core gamers with high-quality titles and in-app purchases. This is leapfrogging the current trend of all these freemium casual titles. We're going from the opposite end of the spectrum, drilling inward. So here's the problem. There's way too many platforms and very high competition. You can look at the image here and just giving a sense of all those blue bars are different channels, different platforms, different devices, all the things you can try to do to get your entertainment fix. And we're talking games for gamers. The end result is that publishers and developers try to shotgun, develop and reach as many platforms as possible. They put a product out there, they push a little bit of marketing, and they just hope it does well. Now, this formula has problems with it. It's basically our hit-driven business formula, where you have progressively increasing budgets and progressively increasing marketing spends just to recoup. Okay? It's high risk, hit and miss, and ultimately it fails. So the opportunity, we're looking at everything that's happening, and we're seeing where are things going in the next 5 years. And what we're seeing is that, first off, tablets are skyrocketing. This is going to be the next companion application. They're cheaper than laptops, and they're just going to continue to get more and more powerful with iterations. And they're already starting to chew into the entertainment game sales on console. The game industry is growing. People love escapism, they love fantasy, they love content, they're content crazy. Currently, it generated $52 billion in the past year and expected to grow to $70 billion in 2017. Out of that number, about 50% of the global revenue is projected to be PC and mobile. So our solution is, instead of just building a game, doing a really good job, and then launching it onto the market with marketing spend and hoping it does well, we think that's a failing strategy.
Our solution is we want to build a platform and a community around our games. We're going to build a franchise of these games, all linked, characters, worlds, and that you have connected gameplay between all these users. So we're going to put this baby in the cloud. It's going to support bite-sized play sessions, cross-platform multiplayer, and integrated instant messaging. This is going to be meaningful interactions between these audiences and these groups. A PC and tablet ROI, we feel, and we've looked at the other markets, and you can look at different communities. For example, Steam. Steam has over 50 million users registered. It's a pretty big beast. It's the biggest one out there. But they're just PC. Right? And also, their portfolio of titles is open. Everybody can come in. There's racing games, there's shooting games. We're saying, no, we're going to do dark, very healthy games, RPGs, RTSs. And so you're going to go one place, and you're going to really be able to enjoy that. It's almost as if we're creating a channel just for Grim Fairy Tales, or fairy tales from around the world.
1 minute.
We have technology, it works, and we're using our video games as a vehicle to get us there. So we're at stage 1, it's functional, and then we're going to go to stage 2, which is integration. I've been in the game industry for 14 years, worked at EA, BioWare, Atari. Me and my partner together, we've shipped over 30 million units in titles. Our business plan, we have our first title funded, and we're building and raising funds for our second one. And that includes improving our Vujan cloud engine so that we can use it as our main vehicle. We are building our advisor network. We have Thorsten Klaus. He's from T-Venture America and a cloud technology specialist. We have Greg Johnson. He's a legendary game designer and creator of Toe Jam and Earl series. And Bob Wallace, who is a fantastic biz dev guy and a former CSO of Ensemble. Quick market validation. So we put out one of our visual images, just an image, of a game concept that we had for Grim. And we got over 6 million viral hits on Reddit on that image alone. I just finished a show for us. They all expressed strong interest in Grim Brothers and our business model and are requesting our playable build. We've done very early, we're just seeding our Facebook community, and already we're getting a lot of excitement. And we received a lot of public comments on our first press release. We still have that new car smell on us. So, what are we here for? We're here to learn, we're here to raise funds, we're here to gain advisors, mentors, and sponsors. We feel that Grim Brothers is on the right track to have sustainable growth of a core player community. We'll have clean IP and cloud networking technology that can be licensed and expandable to a full-on platform. And as I not need to say this anymore, Grim Brothers and the Grim Fairy Tales, these are some cool IPs, and they're almost instant transmedia opportunities. And that is what we're doing. Thank you.
Great, good work. So, would Webley come up and WebC come up and set up while we're taking questions from the panel, comments from the panel? And I want to start with one that's a very important one.
Yes.
Grim Brothers,
Yes.
brand, do you have the rights to use it?
Yes.
How'd you do that? That's impressive.
Public domain. So there is a bottling company in Chicago that makes microbrews. And there's 2 or 3 other companies out there using Grim. ABC Studios is using Grim for their TV show. The Grim Fairy Tales have been used and I wouldn't say plagiarized, I'd say inspired by Disney. So it's all over the place. As long as you take the IP and craft it, do some original stuff to it, it's brand new and it's yours.
Okay, great. Panelists, thank you.
Okay, so I love the way you want to do it, cross-platform game. Yeah, that's a major problem in the industry. I think addressing the real issues, scaling and growth, getting past that kind of hit and miss culture that's there in gaming.
Right.
Would be a major advantage to this. There's a lot of emphasis on the business model. I was interested in knowing a bit more about the game, like what demographic is it aimed at, and what types of expenditure you're expecting to get out of these people?
Right. I'll go into that. So we're going after gamers, and these aren't people who are playing a game or watching a video out of boredom and they're just trying to kill time. These are people who seek out deep, rich story experiences, interactive experiences, and lose themselves within those experiences. So you can look at titles such as Skyrim as a great example of a deep, rich RPG experience that was created. So we're going after core gamers. Our games are going to be premium priced with expansions. And we will have some freemium games coming out, but right now we're a startup, and so our budgets, what we're doing is we're monetizing at a fair value and then offering expansions. At some point we do something disruptive and go free to play, but we want to make sure that, what we've done in our polling and talking to our audience, they hate free to play. I think they want rich, deep experiences. They want to be able to pay for it out of the bat. So we're open. We have both some titles in the background. Oops, that's already gone. Some titles that are designed as free to play and some as premium. And our humor, the black humor is also a key part of it. Think that Monty Python and the Holy Grail meets Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I quite like the dark humor that was in Portal 2 as well. That's pretty cool. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Comments and questions from the audience?
Oh, I hate to be repetitive, but actually, I think again, a clip would be great in this.
Oh, absolutely. I have a playful demo.
Yeah, I mean, just even 1 minute to get the visual feel.
Oh, sure. That's great feedback. Thank you.
How are you recouping now from the Reddit? Are you actually capturing names to pre-promote yourself? What are you doing on pre-promotion?
Well, right now, one of the things we're doing is we're looking to hire a community manager, and we're going to do a lot of pre-marketing and start build the community right now. Right now, it's a small core team, and so with that Reddit feedback, we started to build that thread to link, hey guys, remember that post on Reddit? Hi, it's us. So we're trying to get the word out there. We're trying to start doing seeding, basically, but we're being as genuine as we can. So yes, we're trying to capture.
So EA CEO is available, just kidding.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Just compliment you on your good presentation. It was well structured. I think you have a good strategy. You understand the market fit with your audience. And I think your content and delivery model are very well thought through. So you clearly understand the market need, and I think you have a very good delivery model. If I were to go further, pry into the actual revenue stream,
sure,
and your break-even point, but I think you did an excellent job.
Sure, happy to share any information with anyone who's interested. Thank you, sir. Yes?
So, as a cross-platform gaming, just to give you an understanding, I've played Skyrim and an absolute ton of RPG games. I'm a long-standing
You're my target audience.
aficionado, but I'm also a very busy professional.
Ha! You are my target audience.
This is very challenging because, the first question I want to ask you is, do you intend for these games to be multiplayer?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
single player. There's a single player core, and the multiplayer is always optional, right? But there's always a single player core. So when we see bite-sized play sessions, we're thinking of you, right? So I'm a mid-core gamer, and let me define that, and that might help. Mid-core means I was actually once a core gamer. I love it. I just don't have the time. I'm married. I got a job. You got kids. You're just too busy. So you need bite-sized sessions that you can come in that are meaningful. Come in, interact with others, or on your own, get something done, and get out again.
Absolutely.
That's what we're going for with this.
Okay.
And that's going to be, we're targeting that both for the PC and tablets.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess the other thing that I find a challenge with all multiplayer games that are in the RPG space is, how are you going to have those bite-sized sessions fit into a bigger story arc?
Right. So basically, just to encapsulate it in one word, quests.
Okay.
Right. We're going to break it down into questing systems, and these can be little 5-minute. Go off and retrieve this. Go off and slay the dragon. Go off and murder that guy.
That's very important though, because I got sucked into something called Grepplus, which is not as popular in the United States, but it's in Europe. And the biggest challenge I had was that any kind of quest in that scenario, because it was multiplayer, took exorbitant amounts of time, and also caused me to have to interact with the game at unconventional hours.
Right. So again, I'll try to keep this brief. Have you played Words with Friends?
Sure.
Okay. You know that asynchronous multiplayer? That's
absolutely.
it. There you go.
Okay.
You're welcome. Sir?
What kind of investors are you looking for, and how long do you want to be holding hands with them?
How long do I want to be holding hands? We're looking for equity and non-equity invest angels. We currently have one angel investor on board, and we're looking to build a group where we want long-term partners that will walk with us merrily down the road to the exit. So we're looking to build up a brand and IP. It's probably going to take somewhere around 5 years, and about at least the minimum of 3 titles that are all either critically rated or hits or both. So we're all looking for angel investors, and did I answer your question?
Well,
I don't think I did.
the other question is the magic question.
The magic. Holding hands.
No, after 5 years, when we get divorced,
Oh.
how do we split the assets?
Well, so we do, I think we should take that offline, actually. I think that's a great question, but we should take that offline.
Great point. Good. Any other questions? Comments?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Good presentation. Well thought out, and obviously experienced in the space. We're going to have another speaker now. It's called Wednesday. Why don't you come on up, please say your name, and I'll start the timer, give you a 1-minute bell, and then a second bell at the end, and then we'll start 5 minutes again with the panel of questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm coming from a small Baltic country, Lithuania, in Europe, so some of you probably heard about it, some not. I came to Silicon Valley as my first time, so I came here to raise money and establish partnership. And I came with my startup idea. It's called Wednesday. And, well, I'm going to tell you what it is all about. So more than 40% of our daily actions are influenced by habits. So that makes sense to have good habits, a good set of habits. The problem is that it's very difficult to do that, right? And, well, that's our application. It's an app store right now, and we believe we find the right formula to help you do that with the whole gamification process. So let me tell you how it works. There are 3 basic steps, like you add habits you want to develop, you take actions by checking in, and you keep your progress. To go to more in details, there's a marketplace where you can choose our specific habit you want to develop, or you can choose the habit pack. Let's say lose weight, and what habits help you do that. When you chose that, then you have your habit packs, and you can check in every time you do something and get points for doing those things. And it's not only that you can check in, you can also read information related to this specific habit. Let's say if you're interested in waking up early, you might be interested in how other people are doing that. It's not only information from the books, from the internet, but also information from other users. So to make information practical. Google had a vision to make information digital. Our vision is to make information practical. We have so much information we don't use, and I got really tired of that. But we listen, we go to seminars, we read books, and we come back home excited, saying like, I'm gonna change my life, I'm gonna start doing that. And then after a week or so, motivation is down, we did nothing. So I said we need a tool to change that, and that's what this WEM is all about. So those points you get, you can use those points for tips and tricks you can buy, or if you don't have enough points, so you can do those in-app purchases to acquire points, to buy points through the App Store, and then buy those tips and tricks. So here you can see the progress, where you go from one level to another, how you progress, and if you don't do those things, like let's say lose weight, if you don't do any of those habits, suddenly from level 7, you go to level 6, and so on and so forth. So it keeps you coming back. There are some other things we plan to include, like features where you can compete with friends, and you can get jealous if you find out that your friends are going to the gym and you're not, so it kind of also forces you to do some of the good stuff. And well, also the whole community. You can encourage each other by complimenting, by commenting, or giving props. And well, our customers are basically self-improvement enthusiasts, but in the long run, they should be all people who are interested in making their lives better. Well, the market is huge. In the United States only, there's 11 billion self-improvement market. And what we see right now, all of the content is going mobile, and that's where we are at the moment. The problem with the current market is that people read books, they read books, they read books, and they still do nothing. So we want to change that. We want to encourage people and give them a tool so they start really doing something. So I already explained you how we're gonna make money. Another idea of making money is we're gonna let users create their own habit packs, and then they can sell those habit packs to each other through this system. So, and our team is working on Whimsy, but besides that, we know that Whimsy is about good habits. And there are two others that helps you fight addiction with bad habits. Another one is to help fight addiction with social networks. We had Launch 48 event recently. We won an award, first place, and the name of the app was first, we called it Unhook Facebook. So help people fight addiction with that. And we're kind of successful, people got really excited. And with Unhook, we can do it. It's helping people fight addiction with alcohol, drugs, gambling, all those kind of things where peer support is really, really important. AA meetings is great, psychiatrist is great, but time in between those meetings are vital. So Whimsy is for good habits, another two projects is for fighting bad ones. So this is what is our startup is all about. So thank you.
Perfect timing. Panelists want to start?
What a great product. I love it. I am a self-improvement enthusiast. Is it in the market?
Yes, you can download it from that App Store, just go Whimsy, and we just got updated yesterday, so new features included. Not all I mentioned, but most of them.
Okay, fantastic. And how much is it?
It's free.
Okay, cool. I'll get on to that.
Safe over here.
So if it is free, what is your funding model?
Well, as I mentioned before, one of them were in-app purchases, like you get points for doing habits, and for those points, you can get advice, tips and tricks behind those habits, like if you're interested in waking up early, how people do that, or drinking water. So those points you can use for getting information. So we encourage people to use the app, and if they're doing that often, they don't have to pay for the app. But there are some type of people who don't use that app that often, they still want to get information, and they don't have enough points, so they can do like in-app purchases. Besides, the tips and tricks and advices we put from the internet, but we also do some interviews with some famous people, celebrities. Like a week ago I did with the strongest man in the world, so he shared his tips and tricks, how to exercise and how to eat. And like for normal tip and trick, you would use like 100 points, while for his tip and trick you might use 1,000 points.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. And how long have you been up and running?
We launched, that's a funny date, you know, 21st of December when Maya said the world will end. It actually was, on 21st of December was published in the App Store, so something new happened, you know, something started. So we launched recently. We don't do marketing yet because we don't call it even the first version, we call it like beta version, but we got like 1,500 users like word by mouth. So, and we're working with them like really intensely where we can fix it. And one of the reasons I came to the United States is customer development, where I go to coffee shops and all places, show the app and see how users use it. Well, Steve Lang, knowledgeable thing.
Great.
I like what you're doing very much, because I generically call what you're doing behavior modification. And behavior modification, unless you reinforce the good behavior that you want to change to, doesn't work. Without constant reference to the good behavior, which is the reinforcement, you'll go back to your bad behavior. And I think you provide a very low-cost, very convenient way of doing that. I like your addition in your answer to one of the questions about expert advice. People need more of a complete solution. They don't want to get, I think it could be stimulating and it's convenient to have something on a cell phone. But I think you need, in order to get a richer user experience, if you had the experts in the different categories. So for example, you mentioned a weightlifter, okay? But if you have, people have all kinds of addictions besides chemical addictions. There's food addiction, shopping addiction, smoking, too much TV, no exercise, sugar. And there's a real basis, and many times it's scientific, sometimes it's just anecdotal. Right. But it can be medical, it can be anecdotal, it can be scientific. And people would appreciate that expert advice. So as an adjunct that continues to help reinforce the rationale of the theory of behavior modification, And then they could have that perspective, the background, and you're providing the immediacy of it with the device. So I like very much what you're doing.
Thank
I
you
wish
very
you
much.
great success.
Thank you very much.
So, questions from the audience, or I have one if you don't?
I have something to add to what the sir said about experts. And well, we started doing some partnership. There's a company called Pearson, a publisher. So they have brilliant book series and all this kind of thing. And some of the contents come from there actually. And of course, bringing experts, doing the interviews with them, that will be something we would like to add as well. Yeah.
Great, thanks. So, as I told you when I met earlier with you, I very much enjoy this idea. It fits both my personal lifestyle and my expectation of what many, many people will be able to use. It's cheap, it's fast, it's social. It's just, I think you really are positioned properly. Now, so I have two questions. And before I go to my questions, let me just say that for the audience, I told you earlier, I had an experience where I helped 6 people get a major life-changing experience where they reversed their diabetes in 30 days. But 5 years later, when we go back to talk to them, only 5 out of the 6 went back to diabetes because they went back to the old patterns. Exactly what Bill said. They had no support system at home because we brought them to a resort. One of them, fortunately, 1 out of 6, that's not a good batting average, but 1 out of 6 became a doctor. He was so impressed that he was able to get off his insulin. He's been insulin-free 5 years. So he had a support mechanism because he changed his life. He moved to Arizona from Baltimore where he was living, and he could recreate his whole new support mechanisms and his friends and his family and who he was hanging out with. So I'm going to encourage you to incorporate something that Meetup does, which is in-person support, which might be with expert seminars, or it might be peers. Make that an offering is my suggestion, because I think there's just no substitute for being with other people. It's one thing to get a text or a message. It's another thing to have people in the room, and that support is so important. So my question is, how will you differentiate yourself? I'm imagining, no offense meant here, but I think it seems like it's pretty easy for someone to come in and who has big resources and big experiences. How do you think you can defend yourself? Because lots of us think of this. You did it, great job. How do you defend knockoffs?
Well, passion, first of all. There are a few startups that are doing similar things. One of our biggest competitors, Lyft, that actually really interested in just habit tracking. They don't provide any ideas how to do different habits, but they have a great team. One of their first investors are Tony Robbins' team, Ferris. So it's a great team to compete against, and that 2 guys really love. But besides that, there are no significant leader in the market yet. And there are a few that try something, but regarding advice, they give you a link, then you have to go to the website and find information, there are a lot of advertisement on the site, and it doesn't work. That over experience, people want to have this. And we have also like picture experience, like people get emotional, this neuroscience programming. So I think there are some of the startups trying to do similar things. And it's just a question who's going to be the first leader in the market, because there's no significant leader in the market yet. But there are some to come. And since the market is actually huge, as I mentioned before, at first, like it's a self-improvement, people want to improve their lives, but in the future, they could like everybody, right? And some of us are going to use one service, some of us another service, and the market is huge. So I think if we can change the world for better through our habits and reach our goals, so there are some other startups doing that, fine, join us.
Thank you, excellent, good job.
We're going to hear from, how do I pronounce it? Okay, Safe Haven? Safe Haven, this is spelled wrong, that's why I was confused. Great, Safe Haven, thank you, and please say your name.
My name is John Light. I run a blog called P2Pconnects.us, and I've been talking a lot recently about trust and reputation in the 21st century in a networked society where everyone's connected on the internet, and yet somehow we're all strangers. So the recent rise of the peer-to-peer collaborative consumption or sharing economy has sparked dialogue about the future of trust in society due to the fact that collaborative behaviors often involve trusting strangers despite having little to no background information about them. Frictionless global commerce, which spans and even subverts legal jurisdictions, has been made possible with decentralized payment systems such as Bitcoin and Ripple. And these developments are fueling a rapidly growing need for open, universal standards for rating, reputation, and communicating that reputation rating as efficiently as possible. At the same time as people are sharing more than ever, privacy has also become a concern, a major topic of discussion. The research has been done, and the results are in. People want to share, but they also want control of their privacy. Right now, these two desires are nearly impossible to achieve on the same platform. Facebook and Google not only have full access to all of the data that users upload, they also sell that data to advertisers. Many users aren't even aware that they aren't the customers, they're the product. Well, today I would like to be able to tell social media users that they can have their cake and eat it too. It is possible to have the ability to share freely while retaining full control of personal data. We just have to create a platform that has privacy rather than surveillance built in. What a universal reputation rating system accomplishes is the creation of a new kind of identity on the web, one which is portable and relevant in various contexts. If your identity is portable, shouldn't your data be as well? This leads to the second half of the system. A secure personal cloud to store data in, with full customization capabilities to control who the data is being shared with. An online identity will be able to securely communicate, collaborate, and engage in commerce with other identities, while exchanging reputation ratings in the process to streamline future interactions. Putting a universal reputation rating system together with the secure personal cloud gives us the concept that I'm now presenting to you today, which is a secure personal cloud community that I've codenamed Safe Haven, which will be operating as a benefit corporation. And in the interest of time, I'm skipping a few things. The role of Safe Haven in the secure personal cloud community is that...
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you certainly picked a huge problem to try and address. What is going to be the revenue model of this social networking site?
Pretty much right now, the plan is kind of like any cloud storage model where you start with a limited amount of data, and then if you want to surpass that, then you're going to pay a little bit more for the data. And then there's a la carte features. If you have disputes within the community, then there can be costs associated with arbitration. But particularly when businesses get involved and they're interacting with the marketplace functions, there can be percent fees for holding the funds in escrow and things like that.
Just before we move to the next question, could Gemini Systems come and get set up while we take the next question, please? How? Next question.
Quick question I have is, who do you go to be early adopters? So somebody looking at you, a year or 2 years from now could say that you've made an impact. So can you do that one by one by one, or do you have to go to Google, Facebook, eBay? How do you intend to get adoption of this?
Well, as I showed in one of the slides, there is a growing concern over the privacy policy, the ever-evolving privacy policies of these social networking websites. With my system, you write your privacy policy. I'm specifically targeting the people who are concerned about the privacy of their personal data and how it's going to be used, as well as looking for a secure place to park their data, because nothing in Dropbox is encrypted. It's all open for any employee of Dropbox to kind of rummage through. So if there's anyone that's really concerned about the privacy and the security of their data.
So you then have to get individuals to adopt one by one.
That's correct. To sign up and want to be a part of this community.
And how sophisticated, computer-wise, does somebody have to be in order to implement what you offer?
One of the main driving forces for me to want to try and do this is that actually all of the capabilities that I'm trying to accomplish with this one package are available separately. You can do encrypted file storage, you can have open source social networking with Diaspora, and you can have privacy in various different contexts, but not necessarily all in one place. And so the technology is all there, and particularly building the open source personal cloud platform. Many smart people, much smarter than myself, are currently working very hard on this problem, and I fully intend on collaborating as much as possible.
So to answer my question directly, if you
Yeah.
would, here is Joe Sixpack that you want to have adopt your privacy methodology. How sophisticated in using computers does Joe Sixpack have to be?
Right.
Now, you can go to Stanford Computer Engineering School, and they'll all know it, and they'll either like it or not like it. But Joe Sixpack is the one I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of meandered a little bit. Yeah, the whole purpose of the platform is that all of the security and all of the really difficult things are going on in the background. The user doesn't have to think about it. They don't have to understand how PGP works. They don't have to understand how encryption and SSL and things like that work. They just log in just like any other marketplace or social media platform. They've got maybe one password, perhaps two-factor authentication if they want to be secure, a username, and they just plug in and go.
Okay, down to 1 minute, but actually we have Lumen LED if Gemini are all quite ready. Okay, 1 more minute. Any more questions?
Questions from the audience? All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.